a lot of people, what they really want out of life is freedom.
Freedom!
And I'm not going to sort of turn around and say that everything here in Bulgaria is sunshine and rainbows. It isn't. I think it would be wrong of me, and I hope Courtney agrees with me when I say this, to be that type of person that would not be completely honest about what their living experience is like.
Whereas in Bulgaria, everyone just feels more free. You don't have to be earning mega amounts of money to be able to enjoy yourself.
Agreed.
And that means you don't have to sell yourself to a corporation for the last 40 years. The look on my future wife's face when she gets to spend one extra day here is worth any money in the world to me. Like the happiness that she has. So for anyone watching this, if you've got a partner that's from a different country, I'd imagine it'll be the same for them.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of TLSE and BG, part of the TL Simpson Enterprises channel. I make vlogs and other related content around life in Bulgaria, as well as business and entrepreneurship. Welcome to part 2 of my interview with my good friend Courtney Jones. Now this episode's a little bit different. I think we speak a lot more surrounding the motivations and mindsets behind why we both do what we do, how circumstances, maybe outside circumstances, particularly economic circumstances. I mean, the word finance and economics is mentioned quite a lot, and basically how that translates into the mindset behind why I, in particular, moved to Bulgaria, why Courtney and his fiance are investing in Bulgaria, and lastly, I think it addresses an important question and something that I get asked a lot besides racism. And what are we doing in Bulgaria? Is more importantly, why Bulgaria? Out of all the countries in Europe, why have we chosen to come here? Despite the fact that, we might have, Bulgarian partners, Bulgarian wives, whatever. We could have taken our Bulgarian spouses and gone anywhere. Why have we come here? The place of their birth and immersing ourselves in their culture. But for now, get ready for part 2 with Courtney. Hope you guys enjoy it. As always, let me know what you think. And if you like my content, if you want to follow along with the journey, the life journey in Bulgaria and all that, then don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, the TL Simpson Enterprises channel. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. Here comes part 2 of my interview with Courtney Jones. Enjoy.
Where are we? 40 minutes. This might end up being a 2-parter, to be honest.
That's
but
fine.
we'll see how we go, because I like my videos to be short.
Yeah. Well, you could probably cut out a lot of this stuff that we're doing right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But even still, I think we could get 2 solid episodes out of this.
Oh,
and here's your opportunity to plug your channel.
Plug my channel. Okay. So I'm Courtney Jones. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. So I work back in the UK and have no intention of cutting ties immediately anytime soon. So that's why our journey is slightly different. So I chartered, this is going to make me feel really old, maybe 5 years ago now.
Go on.
And that was after a lengthy bit of study. So I enjoy my work, which is maybe a bit different to some. I actually quite like my job. I like who I work with, I like the company and everything. And I just genuinely like finance. And it's one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel. Courtney Jones Financial, for those of you that are interested. Put a plug somewhere.
I was going to say, at this point, you'll probably see it. It's covering my finger, but you'll see a little banner which I'll put up.
Somewhere
which
there.
will put Courtney's details on there. Please subscribe to his channel.
Exactly.
He's doing very well. I'm very proud of him.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, so it led me to start this channel in that I was having a really profound conversation with one of my old school friends in that there isn't a lot of, there isn't a lot of people talking about personal finance on a real level that is relatable. I'm not from a privileged background, especially. I've had to work my way up to get to where I am. And when I first started in my job and I got good money, I blew a load of money. Again, go to the channel, you'll see all about it, but I blew a load of money and I got sucked into the whole work more, buy more stuff, work more, buy more stuff. And I was like, this isn't fulfilling me. So it really led me to take a step back and decide, kind of really think about what actually fulfills me in life and how money can then help do that.
I think, you know, where it kind of, reason why I asked Courtney that and why it kind of ties into, you know, this particularly, the Bulgaria vlog, talking about Bulgaria, is because decisions that were made in my own life prior to coming here, not so good financial decisions that maybe I could have improved on, or maybe some things that I wish I'd have implemented before, you know, as a direct result of that, and maybe it's not the direct reason for us being here, but I think having good financial health and having a good financial strength in your mindset, basically, can obviously help you to make better decisions, obviously. But then where, you know, from my own perspective, you know, going through money stuff and not being, you know, financially literate or whatever, coupled with what was going on in England, what is going on in England with the cost of living crisis, blatant profiteering, the wealth gap growing massively, successive governments that don't really have a clue what they're doing. It all kind of creates a bit of a storm, really, doesn't it? Because as a result, you know, generally if there's a massive storm or a massive thunderstorm or whatever, there's damage and there's lightning strikes, there's, you know, thunderbolts or whatever, and you're kind of left picking up the pieces and having to rebuild afterwards. Similar sort of scenario. And I don't want to sort of turn around and directly suggest that as a result of the massive financial storm that most of us, well, all of us really, I say all of us, most of us, because there are, you know, a selective group of people that, you know, anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
You got a lot of comments for those sort of
yeah,
sort of
you do,
there.
don't you? You do, don't you?
Get
But I
the
highly doubt any 1%ers will be watching this video. If you are, then get in touch. My email address is at the bottom of my description. Get in touch. Let's make some money. Anyway, I'm joking. Point here. Anyway, case in point. Point I'm trying to make is that coupled with the financial storm, you know, from my own decisions, from say your own decisions or anyone's own decisions, through to having to make a decision to uproot your entire life and move halfway across Europe, I think to say that it was the sole reason for being here would be entirely incorrect, because you could basically take that excuse and basically move anywhere.
Yeah.
Basically. And, you know, hypothetically, yes, Bulgaria is so much more cheaper than the UK in some sense, except for food. But we could have, you know, basically picked up our ball and ran anywhere with it. You know, we could have gone anywhere in the Balkans. We could have gone to South Asia, or even, you know, we could even have gone to Africa or somewhere like that. So there had to be a pull. It had to be something. I said it earlier in the cafe. Something magical, something special about a place that, even though you could be going through something really tough and really difficult, and, you know, financial worries are a big problem for a lot of people at the moment, and certainly have been for the past few years, certainly since COVID. That you can move somewhere or be somewhere that kind of helps you to take those worries away, but can also give you a good foundation to do better, basically. And to kind of deviate again, just very slightly, you know, I think it's very important that, you know, you make friends and put yourself around people that will help to elevate you, that will help to build you up, and also to kind of help you learn more about what stuff that you don't already know. And you're probably thinking at this point, how the hell does this tie into Bulgaria? For me, it's very important, because so far, the friends that I've made have all given me, personally, a lot of value.
Just to jump in, I think that it's realising that material wealth pales in comparison to spiritual and inner wealth and peace. So for both of us, I'll probably speak on your behalf, but the look on my future wife's face when she gets to spend one extra day here is worth any money in the world to me. Like the happiness that she has. So for anyone watching this, you know, if you've got a partner that's from a different country, I'd imagine it'll be the same for them. So maybe Bulgaria isn't your place, but there will be other places outside of the UK when you realise that if, like, I struggle with this concept because I'm on the fence in that all of my family are from the UK. I do not like seeing it on the trajectory it's on, and I genuinely wish it could turn around. I genuinely wish it was going to be where it was 30, 40 years ago, a really prosperous country. People could afford things, people could go and buy and do what they want. But you have to be realistic and think that, you know, you have to protect yourself in a way. And that's why both of us have probably ended up looking at Bulgaria and going, that's our safety.
By adding other perspectives, it kind of adds layers to existing experiences. And I think thankfully Courtney agrees. And I want to be able to share my experience of Bulgaria in a way that is, one, relatable, and two, gives the impression of the country, specifically Plovdiv, that it really is, rather than the many spoof videos that are out there, people that are disengaged and maybe not so in love with their own personal environments at the moment. And I'm not going to sort of turn around and say that everything here in Bulgaria is sunshine and rainbows. It isn't. But at the same time, I think it would be wrong of me, and I hope Courtney agrees with me when I say this, to be that type of person that would not be completely honest about what their living experience is like.
Yeah.
Because we are coming from a country, or coming from from environments that don't necessarily believe or would necessarily encourage people like us. Let's just call it what it is, right?
Yeah.
People that look like us, people with our complexion, people with the way that we speak, to be in a place like Bulgaria. I think, I don't know about you, but the first question I always get, other than the racism question, is what on earth are you going to do over there? Like, and you sort of get the people sort of pulling all their weird faces. They're like, Bulgaria, like why the hell would you want to move to Bulgaria? So, really the point I'm getting at is, providing value. And, ultimately I hope that this video in particular has provided value for you guys, that, hearing Courtney's perspective, as well as, kind of bouncing ideas off each other. And I know that for sure, in the years and time to come, that we'll have a lot more to share, and, kind of, maybe look back on this video in, say, 3 or 4 years' time and say, oh yeah, remember we sat in a park.
Yeah, and we were talking absolute nonsense. It's a terrible place to live. Don't I think that's it, right? We're at a point in our lives now where, early 30s and mid 30s, but
mid to late 30s.
A lot of what we're saying now is stuff that I wish 20-year-old me could know. So maybe in 10 years' time, there'll be stuff that 30-year-old me wish I knew. And I think that that is, I agree with you, the beauty of the internet now is that there's like a wealth of content where you can get this realistic view from people. Some of it not so realistic, some of it might be embellished, but for the most part, if people are honest and genuine, you can really provide value for people that are just looking for reassurance, comfort, and maybe even just the push to go out and do something that normal society doesn't deem them right to do, or deem right for them to do.
And it wouldn't be encouraged either.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, completely agree. Cool. Yeah. So really the most important question, there was I know there's been a lot of deviating, a lot of pivoting. I know I like that word, but I think all of this is relevant and it is important. But the most important thing, really, I think the most important question for my friend here is, what made you want to invest in Bulgaria? So just before you answer that, I think there is obviously a difference between coming here, visiting here, having a great holiday, maybe having say an investment property like an Airbnb or something here. But you guys are putting down solid foundations to actually live here.
Yep.
So I suppose I want to know from your perspective, the investment opportunity here in Bulgaria, how good is it? And can you get a lot of value out of the money that you're putting into it?
Yep.
Do you think you're getting value? I suppose is another question from what you're getting out of it. And for anyone watching, because I know I've had this question before, I know I had it in England, and I know I'll probably have more from anyone that's watching, for people that are looking to invest in either buying land or potentially buying property here. I'm kind of separate from this conversation in a way, because we actually own our flat in Plovdiv. But I'll let Courtney kind of tell his story a little bit and talk about the investment opportunity he's got here in Bulgaria.
Yeah, sure. So I know, obviously, I've mentioned earlier about my previous vision when I was younger and wanting to invest and build my own place and everything. And then I've talked you through how I then met Kate and how that's kind of aligned into that. So the investment really just came about from, again, I think I'm very fortunate in my profession, and I'm genuinely interested in personal finance and the wider economy. So I could see when we started at this investment that Eastern Europe is, and this is, I'm not making this up, I'm not just saying this because I want it to be, it's genuinely where it's heading. Eastern Europe is on the trajectory for the quality of life in some Eastern European countries to be better than the UK by 2036.
Exhibit A, Poland, specifically Warsaw.
So Poland specifically, but that will filter down as things naturally do to all of these other countries. So for me, when I look at investments, I realize that the pound right now is very, very strong, but weakening. And where we are now, so in Bulgaria, they use lev, which is outside of the euro. So the pound to euro ratio is basically 1-for-1, slightly off. But the pound to lev ratio is about 2.2 to 2.4 levs to the pound. It fluctuates. So by earning money in the UK and investing in Bulgaria right now, you can effectively over double the money that you're putting in. Yes, things cost more in lev, I understand that, but by and large, when you look at things like labour and things, you're basically getting it half price.
Yeah, pretty much. And
the quality is phenomenal. So again, shameless plug, I will be releasing a series of episodes about the build process. I'm currently here now visiting to check on the progress and film some more stuff. So I'll release the full pricings and everything and how much everything costs in the process in detail on that series. But honestly, the quality of the buildings, Tion, I can't wait for you to come see this house.
Yeah, looking forward to it already.
The quality of this building is, in my UK house, for those of you in the UK watching, my floorboards creak, my boiler is the loudest thing in the world. Honestly, but that's just what I'm used to. I don't know any different. Here it is concrete, metal rebar all the way through it. It's the most solid building I've ever seen in my life. And for the price we paid, which I'm not going to spoil it now.
No, don't disclose that now.
I'm not going to spoil it now. But for the price we've paid for what we've got, it's frightening. To get something like that in the UK would be over $500,000.
Put it this way, all I would say at this point, and I'm not going to ruin this series for him, but the amount that they have paid, pretty much for everything, that's including the land, the paperwork, the structure of the building so far, and estimating the interior costs as well. What the figure would be the approximate price of a 3-bedroom house in, say, 1999, 2000 in Greater London.
Yeah.
If you want to do your own research and find that out, then by all means do it. Yeah. But I'm not going to ruin this. I'm not going to ruin
fine.
This.
We will give the specific breakdowns. But yeah, it's so for me, on a pure financial basis, taking the love and all of that outside of it from our relationship, it's one of the best places to invest right now inside Europe. And that's an important thing as well, the fact that it is inside Europe, which means that although in future, I'm not looking to break ties with the UK. I like my career. We will use it. We don't know how it's going to pan out yet. We don't know what the trajectory is going to look like. We just know that we need to invest and get this house up. But going forward, it means I'm close to the UK, so I can fly back and see my family. They're also going to be there. I'm not moving to you see a lot of these people moving to Thailand or Asia. That's like a day-long travel. If you've got to be back for an emergency, I can probably get from here to the UK quicker than some people could get from Leeds to London, right? Yeah. It's crazy. It's like a 3-hour flight and they go pretty much every day. Yeah. And off season, you're looking at like 50 quid. I
paid, sorry, just to jump in there. I paid in November when I went to do the first stage of my visa for my return flight. But then saying that, I only had a backpack, but it was enough. It was only staying for like 2 days. I paid €40.
Exactly. So it's less, it's probably cheaper for me to go from here to London than it would be for me living in Bristol to London on the train. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. Nuts. I think right now that is one of the key points is why we're investing now is that we are on. I'm on a good salary. I'm not ashamed to admit I've worked hard to get that salary, and it's not a brag, but I'm on a good salary. And rather than
you're okay to humble brag, mate.
but rather than putting that money into a bigger house and a bigger house and a nice car, I was like, no, let me just stay modest in the UK. Still got a base in the UK. Then let me spread my investments elsewhere. So if it gets really bad there, I can go here. If it gets really bad there, I can go here. And that is the mindset of where I'm at now. And Bulgaria, just if you do your research, it just makes sense. I'm not saying it's free, by the way. You do need some money to get here. Yeah. But it is, I think, based on what we've been discussing, it's worth it.
Absolutely. And I think more importantly as well, and we're not just myself and Courtney. There's loads of not just Brits, people from all over Europe, people all over the world here in Bulgaria, and the world has changed. And whilst a lot of it has not been for the better, some of it has been. And the reason why I do what I do, the reason why I specifically chose digital entrepreneurship is because you can create a product or a service that can be done from anywhere. In Courtney's case, don't want to speak for him, but I'm sure that if you have enough privileges with your boss, for example, you could you'd be able to work abroad, or even if you decided to be, decided to be a freelancer.
Exactly. My profession. Once you've got a good profession and a solid profession, if you do want to go contracting, and I think that's another thing that's the beauty of investing investing in Bulgaria, is that once the house is up and built and paid for, it's not like I've got another 30-year mortgage on that. That's it paid, right?
Yeah.
So if I want to take risks with my employment, I don't have to be earning 2, 3, 4 grand a month to pay for it all.
Yeah.
I can take some time off and think about what do I want to do with my life and my career, rather than every day waking up on the grind and feeling like you have to go there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you said the key word, and I said this in the first episode, and we'll probably say it again now: freedom. And I know a lot of people have commented on some of my a lot of people have commented on some of my videos, and they've been in agreement in that sense. And I know a lot of people, what they really want out of life is freedom. Freedom.
It is, yeah.
And I know we've been talking for quite some time now, and more than likely what you're going to be seeing now is going to be part 2 of our conversation here. But to kind of almost steal Courtney's line from what he's been saying earlier.
Well, yes.
Actually, no, I'm going to give him the credit.
No. But it's your channel.
Tell you what I'll do, dude. I'll start it.
Go for it.
You can finish it.
We're gonna forget what it is now. This is gonna be
absolutely not. Trading liberty
Yeah.
for security. And you know what? I'm actually not going to forget that now. I think when you understand that and understand the mindset of the UK, it all starts to make sense. Now I'm going to stop now. I'm going to let Courtney finish that point.
Yeah. So it's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and again, it's why I started my personal channel for financial freedom. Is that most people in the UK now, and we saw this in COVID, are happy to trade their liberty for they're happy to trade their liberty for security. And by that, what I mean is that it doesn't matter how free you feel. If you can get up one day and you want to go paragliding, we want people to have licenses for that. We want you to have to pay tax on that. Because we don't want everyone to be able to do what they want to do. And whilst I can see the argument for it if it's done right, I can see the argument of having more security and more safety, is that I think it's getting to the point now where it's going almost too far the other way. You can't do anything without having to pay extortionate amounts of money to do stuff. Whereas in Bulgaria, everyone just feels more free. You don't have to be earning mega amounts of money to be able to enjoy yourself.
Agreed.
And that means you don't have to sell yourself to a corporation for the next 40 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And almost like 4, maybe 5 months now, myself personally living in Bulgaria. I know Courtney doesn't live in Bulgaria yet. And the combination of freedom, the combination of doing what we want to do and having the freedom to do what we want to do. I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I would never, not so much have the confidence, I would never have the liberty, there's the word, there's the key word there, have the liberty to do what I'm currently doing. And it's not just with this particular channel, with the businesses that we're setting up and all the other projects I've got going on. We would never have had the liberty to do this in the UK because of the ridiculous financial pressures and everything that's going on, and with basically not having the freedom to basically just do anything really.
Yeah.
And all this stuff does take a toll on your mental health, which I'm not going to get into because that's a completely separate subject. But I think for a lot of people that it's one of those, and we'll kind of sort of end this in this direction. You've got to ask yourself that question: what do you really want from life? 2, do you feel like you have enough autonomy and enough freedom to get what you want from life? And 3, if it's one of those things that you are looking for, maybe you're looking for something that maybe not as expensive as, say, France, Germany, Spain, UK, why not consider somewhere in the Balkans? Why not consider somewhere like Bulgaria? I know we've done our best here to try and sell Bulgaria as absolutely as basically as best as we can, but we're kind of doing that for a reason. There's a lot of value here. There's a lot of freedom here, and you can have a really, really, really good life here. Just before we officially sign off, because it is getting dark and I do need to go home before my wife beats me over the head with a stick. I have one question.
Sure.
In the UK, before you met Kate, before you even went on this incredible journey that you're going on now, what was the one thing, or maybe what are the 1 or 2 things that you knew about Bulgaria before coming here? Did you know anything at all about Bulgaria?
They had a beach and it was sunny. I think legitimately that's probably the only thing I knew. I had never looked into it before, so it's very bad. I didn't even know where on the map it was. I just knew But there was a sunny beach somewhere with some cheap alcohol.
Coming soon, TLSE and BG from Sunny Beach. I'm going to hold him to that.
Terrible.
Oh
Terrible.
God. Yeah. I've heard a lot about Sunny Beach. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to upset anybody. But
yeah, I think to any Bulgarian viewers, they'll be screaming at the screen saying, "Don't visit."
Yeah, I would actually agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't think I've actually met a Bulgarian that actually likes Sunny Beach. So,
so I'm embarrassed to admit that.
Right
I'm embarrassed to admit that on camera, but that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No,
Literally nothing at all.
No.
So
nothing.
would it be fair to say that Bulgaria has surpassed all of your expectations?
Yes, it has massively surpassed my expectations because it has more than a beach.
Yes, it does.
So,
and Bulgaria's got great beaches as well. I've never actually been to any. I haven't actually been to the coast yet, but Sozopol, I've seen pictures.
Primorsko.
Yeah,
we put a video about Primorsko.
You do have a video about
one of my worst
Primorsko.
performing videos, so watch it.
Okay, all right. At this point, I'm going to put a link to one of Courtney's videos of his beach. It was one of the first videos I watched. It was of his trip to Primorsko.
Great beach. Honestly,
yeah.
Couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah, I knew absolutely nothing about Sofia, nothing about any other city in Plovdiv. It was just like, it wasn't marketed, wasn't anything really.
So likewise, it's surpassed your expectations as well?
It most certainly has.
And
I remember when I came to Bulgaria for the first time in 2019. Without turning this into therapy, it was after a very, very tricky and very difficult period in my life. It just so happened that because BA were actually on BA, my favourite airline, were on strike then. I remember it very clearly, and as a result of what we had going on at the time, my wife Rudina had to fly to Sofia one day earlier than me flying. So she flew the day before, I flew the day afterwards. I remember waking up that morning in the foulest mood ever. I think I've still got the picture. If I've still got the picture, I'm going to put it up on the screen now. I literally just totally rat-faced, really, really pissed off, and just like, I'm really not in the mood for this. But
fly back to the UK. You can take a picture if you haven't got one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. No, I do have it.
Go there for 10 minutes, and you'll be
back in the same mindset again. Yeah, exactly. But I do have that picture. I'm gonna put it up. Flying to Sofia, and then obviously meeting my wife's dad, which is always a nerve-wracking experience.
Yep.
Meeting a Balkan dad for the first time, but he's just a big joker, really, big teddy bear. Shout out to my father-in-law who we saw driving his bus earlier. Literally everything from the massive meal that we had the first night I was here, the ridiculously cheap Airbnb at the time that we got, the history, the architecture, the food. I've said the food before. The food again. We went in, I think it was mid to late September. It was almost 30 degrees. The weather was absolutely amazing. Again, the friendliness, and I was just like, wow, this is absolutely fantastic. Like, Bulgaria is absolutely amazing. I never would have thought we'd be living here though. That was a big surprise.
Yeah.
But a nice surprise, nevertheless.
I think that's what probably round off the video. That's a really good point that you make, is that it's all felt right. And I know we said this before. You don't. If you're watching this as a what do I have to have in order before I decide to move somewhere, you don't. Just, if it's feeling right, just do each little task at a time. You said you've never thought about moving here, but then the first step is like, the residency. Where are we going to live? And you solve these little problems, and eventually you've kind of solved the big problem.
Absolutely, and from personal experience, especially with the headache that we've had with residency, Courtney's right. Doing things one thing at a time will make the process a hell of a lot easier. Yeah. We'll do the official goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Thank you so much for coming on my channel.
Yeah,
much appreciated. No, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to. I know there's so much more we can talk about in the future, and
we'll be doing probably a part 2. Obviously, when this video takes off, because why wouldn't it?
Why wouldn't it?
We'll be doing part 2 from the garden once it's finished, from where I'm building. So
I'll hold him to that.
Yeah.
Formally close this off now. Yeah. It's been a pleasure, brother.
It's good to talk to you, sir.
No, it's been good. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like both of the videos actually, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, TL Simpson Enterprises, and check out Courtney's stuff as well. I'll put his little banner at the bottom as well. Check out his stuff, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. I've got more exciting interviews lined up, more great content lined up. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for everyone that supported my channel. And I feel very blessed, very encouraged by the journey that I've been on so far. It's you guys keep me going. I feel encouraged to make more content, and we'll see how it goes from there. So it's through doing this that I met him. So if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have met him, and we wouldn't be doing this.
It's been worthwhile just for that.
It has been absolutely worthwhile. So anyway.
Peace.
See you soon.